Hey, welcome to Blue Wire. After you finish listening to this awesome Blue Wire podcast, make sure you check out the other pods in our Blue Wire family. Okay, I know, you're probably wondering, how do I do that? Well, it's simple. Go to iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts and search Blue Wire. Ta-da! They will all be there, so have fun listening.
Bleeding Purple Podcast.
Welcome to Minnesota! Woo!
Straight cash, homie. 48-4 jersey down.
Adrian Peterson is loose! Oh my heavens! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Why do you even ponder passing? That's gonna work, huh? That's gonna work! How do you like that?
5 shot 3, 1, 2, 3, fire! Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to Bleeding Purple, a podcast about the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Tyler Haig, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Adam Patrick. Hello, good sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
I am also doing very well. As I'm sure our listeners are very aware after the way the episode started, we are now, Bleeding Purple is now a member of the Blue Wire podcasting family.
Yep.
Very excited about that.
We are. We have a network.
We do. We're on a network now. International, national.
We're syndicated.
I mean, it's not a huge deal, but just climbing the ladder. BlueWirePods.com if you want to check out all of the other podcasts that are on said network.
Yeah, check it out. We're on there. We're the Vikings podcast on Blue Wire. There's a lot of podcasts out there. You know, they want to be like a local podcast for, you know, people in their market. That's not the newspaper. That's not radio. Just give some people, you know, a different perspective, but that's also local at the same time. So we're the Vikings podcast, and there's other people. You know, Jordan Reed's on there. I'm sure Vikings fans are very familiar with that dude. He knows what he's talking about. There's Brandon Thorne. There's Kyle Krabs. There's a bunch of podcasts, you know, for the Raiders, for the 49ers. James Jones is on the network, former NFL receivers. So, you know, this is pretty big. This is legit.
It's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. We're here.
Yeah,
we out here. And if you don't know who we are, I'm Tyler. I said that already. I mean, I introduced us, but who are we? What do we do? I write for VikingsTerritory.com. Adam, tell the people what you do.
I am Adam Patrick, and I am the co-editor of The Viking Age. You might have read one of my articles in the past and probably didn't like what I said, but that's okay because you read it, so I don't really care.
Got the
So we're here to give you our perspective on the Vikings, whether you like it or not. So
that's edgy.
Hopefully you like it.
We're getting edgier now that we're on. I mean, it's a natural progression.
Yeah,
you get edgier as you get. You know.
I'm surprised I'm not wearing sunglasses right now.
I'm also surprised that we're not wearing sunglasses. I wish we would have thought of that beforehand. I would love to have sunglasses on. Do I? Oh my God, I do.
Oh boy,
gotta love that.
Oh boy.
My children touched these most recently because I cannot see anything through them. A lot of fingerprints on there. Okay, wonderful introductions. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Vikings, you know, what the podcast is like actually about.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you knew this, Adam, but the offensive line has been a little bit of an issue for this football team for the last...
I think someone's mentioned that.
For the last several years. How many years? Well, let's just focus on this offseason. They haven't made any moves. They haven't brought anybody in. Just kidding. Enter Josh Klein, right? Is it Josh?
Yeah,
Yeah. That guy. He plays guard, so don't ask, because he does.
Yeah, he tries.
He tries. Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, dude, I almost forgot that this was your... So, you can make an argument...
People weren't very happy with my opinion on him.
No, they were not. You could make an argument that this is equal or going to be about the same amount of production. You could make an argument that Klein is going to be a little bit better than the players who were playing in that position last season, or... as I am willing to bet that your side of the argument is going to be, you can make an argument that he is going to be worse than what we saw at that position last season Is that where you stand? Tell us where you stand, Adam. What's your take? How do you feel?
I've come around a little bit.
Have you? Okay.
After doing a little bit more research and, maybe jumped the gun a little bit, but not that much.
No, not that much.
I don't think he's significantly worse than what Mike Remmers did last year, but I don't really think he's any better. He's a little cheaper, so that's good, I guess, for the Vikings. He did not have a good season last year. He gave up more pressures per snap or whatever than Mike Remmers, so that's not good.
No.
He was on the Titans last year. They switched to a zone blocking scheme. In the first few years he was with the Titans, it was more power running and whatever. And he did decent, but they switched to zone blocking last year, and it didn't work out that well for him. And so what are the Vikings running this year? What are they switching to? Oh, more zone blocking system. So I've heard the take like, oh, he's athletic, he's more suited for the zone blocking, scheme for offense. That's great, but he didn't show that he was last season, and a lot of people are also like, well, it was one season, he had a bad season. He's never been a guy to blow anyone out of the water. He's been okay at best. Good for him for being undrafted and he's got all these starts under his belt in the NFL, but when the Vikings signed him and are, bragging about him having like 46 consecutive starts, and that's pretty much all they're bragging about, I don't really think that's a good sign for somebody that, they're quote unquote excited about.
Yeah, I think that to me is the most important. It's how are you looking at it? Are you looking at his last season as the way you're measuring what he's going to do in the future? Are you taking his entire career and then seeing what he's going to do? I mean, the biggest issue I have with this signing isn't the signing itself, because you needed a body in there. You got him for, I don't want to say cheap, but I mean, he wasn't expensive, all things considered. But to present him as though he's going to be a definite upgrade and something that they need, I think that is a little bit misleading. And I don't, maybe not misleading isn't the right word, but he's not that good. They don't need a guy to be great. But to present him as like, oh, dude, here he is. We found him. This is the diamond in the rough. This is our guy. Like he's not that. He's filler. He's I mean, he's going to start because they literally have nobody else to start. So
for now,
take that as you will. But I mean, there's still
there's the draft. You never.
Yes.
I'm not excited about it. I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it and act like I am.
No.
I mean, I guess they have one more offensive lineman, so their depth is better. But skill level, I don't think it's any better.
No, that's where we're at. You can't tell me he's going to be terrible because we don't know what it's going to look like in this system. But I just can't hear the argument that this is like a definite upgrade, because although he might play better and although he might be a little bit of an upgrade there, he's not the guy that's going to be long-term starter.
If he is, then fine. That's good. Yeah. I'm not rooting against him. We're not rooting against him. But we're just going off. But you have to be
practical about all the other teams that pass on him, and he's the second-tier wave of free agency, and they got him for markedly less than what Easton got coming off of a season where he didn't play. I mean, there's a lot going on here. But, be happy that they made a move on the offensive line, but don't be surprised when he's not God's gift to the offensive line when the games start.
I don't see a whole lot of difference between him and Mike Remmers or even Tom Compton. Any of those guys that may start for somebody else, but that doesn't mean that they're good enough to be, a legit starter. Like they're in there because probably someone got hurt.
Yeah, and you could make the argument that maybe that's the upgrade, is that there's not two players in that position. It's just the one guy who's not going to get hurt, because that basically is all we have to go on, is that he'll play.
He is durable. So maybe, the Vikings were looking at that and they're like, we just don't want someone to get hurt all year. But, Mike Remmers played all 16 games, and his agent was not happy with the Vikings for putting him at guard. But that's another story.
Yeah, it is. Let's talk a little bit about that. The idea of like shuffling all these guys on this line. Do you think this is like a good decision, a bad decision? Does this reek of desperation to you?
Oh, yeah.
Because to me it seems like the most desperate thing you can do is be like, we'll just slide him wherever, depending on how bad we get.
Because they're talking about that with Riley Reef now.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe moving him inside the guard. And I'm just like, no, either keep him at tackle or release him. Don't try and change him into a position that he's never played in the NFL.
That to me is the most confusing.
This isn't college where he can go against teams that aren't as skilled. Every team in the NFL is good. I don't care if you're the Raiders or not the Browns anymore. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Or the Dolphins.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find a different team to just throw out there
we
for
saw
terrible teams.
We saw last year when the Vikings went against the Bills and they were like, oh, this will be easy, and then the Bills just destroyed the Vikings offensive line.
Yes.
So this isn't college where you can just switch guys all over the place and it'll probably work out.
Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that this offensive line is going to be terrible, because I don't think we know that. But to just constantly be moving and shifting positions and like having guys, like, doesn't that imply that you are putting guys out of position when they're playing a position that they've never played? What would lead you to believe that that's going to be the best fit for your offensive line and give you the best chance to win, Adam? I don't understand it sometimes. But like we said, it's desperate times, man. You got to find somebody to play there, and hopefully they
God forbid someone has a negative opinion about the Vikings signing someone.
Well, you got to be constantly rooting
Give
for
them
the
a
team,
chance.
no matter what, Adam. You cannot be skeptical of somebody until they have sucked on the field for the Vikings. That's like the Viking fan rule.
What do I know? This is my first year watching them. So.
Yeah, right. Speaking of Vikings fans who have like crazy opinions, or I shouldn't say crazy opinions, but very strong opinions, Marcus Sherrills will not be playing for the Vikings this season, which is how many years? 7, 8? How many years has he been on this team?
I think 8 years. 8 years.
He always makes the team.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
They didn't even get a chance to cut him. He left on his own.
Yeah, I mean,
no one saw that coming.
do you know what the numbers are for that deal?
I think it's like $2 million. Like
2 million.
1.5, $2 million. Yeah.
Here's the way I'm looking at this situation.
He's chasing a Super Bowl. Apparently.
Did New Orleans just pay $2 million for a punt returner?
Yeah.
Why aren't we looking at it like that? Why did they pay $2 million
for a corner?
a punt
That's what they paid him.
Oh, did they? I guess, dude. Nick Easton gets quadrillions of dollars. He didn't play last year, so who knows? Maybe that is
It's all about guaranteed money, anyways. Doesn't like what Easton got. The full number doesn't matter because he's never going to get that.
No,
but it was just interesting after Sherrills left or whatever, and I think it was Chris Thomason that tweeted out that he's chasing a Super Bowl, and I'm like, you couldn't do that in Minnesota?
I would understand him being a little bit like, not upset, but like, I want to go someplace where I know I'm going to make the team.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. I don't know if he's got that situation there, but
who's to say he's going to make the team in New Orleans? Because, he could screw up, and I'm surprised if he was going to go anywhere, I'm surprised he didn't go to the Browns.
That was what I was thinking too.
Mike Prefer.
Yeah.
But I don't know who they have in mind for their returner. I don't know. I think Jarvis Landry returns punts, or he did at one time in his career. I don't know if he's going to do that next season. But yeah, it's just it's a little weird. It's going to be weird not having Marcus Sherrills on the team.
Yes.
Now they have to find a punt returner for the first time since like 2011.
I think they'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think the team's going to be fine going forward. Are you at all surprised by the not like freak out, but like the fan reaction? Like, I get that he's a fan favorite.
Why couldn't they offer him enough money?
I just am like shocked that people are like, oh my god,
sometimes
without Sherrills we're going to do this. It's like,
sometimes it's good for a change.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And 8 years, like, I get that you like him because he was here for so long. He went to college here. Like, I understand the love there, but like, oh god, what are we gonna do? It's like,
they have someone
punt returner. Like,
the Vikings
fine.
Mike Hughes averaged like 16 yards a punt return in college, so
yeah,
I think he would be a good option. Chad Beebe's returned punts in his career. be a way for him to make the team.
But he was more than just a punt returner, Adam. He was out there for a lot of special teams plays. How are they going to replace that?
Oh, Marcus Sherrills.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people don't have entirely different special teams every single year.
That's exactly, because you don't pull your starters off of the special teams and just put whoever in there because you think they can pull it off. This is the argument that frustrates me. He's an important special teams player. There are no that position doesn't exist unless they're kicking. That's the only important special teams position there is. Yeah. I guess long snapper, but come on, we're splitting hairs here now.
Underrated.
Yeah. So Marcus Sherrills.
He's gone.
Have a great time in New Orleans. Also, why aren't we more upset that everybody's going to New Orleans? Everybody's leaving.
Is anyone good gone to New Orleans?
Easton, Sherrills. They keep saying they're chasing Super Bowls. Latavius Murray. See, what Teddy. Is the... I mean...
It's not like they're taking away Dalvin Cook or Adam Thielen. Taking away all the Vikings scraps.
It's true. Guys who probably were not going to be back.
They were going to be back anyways.
Well, Easton they would have loved to have had.
That was... The Easton thing is still surprising.
I can't believe it.
The way he left, he's like, oh, everyone should know why I left. And it's like,
we don't. No. We don't know why.
No.
Also, have you been noticing a little bit of kind of these guys sign elsewhere, and there's been a lot of kind of underhanded or backhanded quotes at the Vikings? Is this a trend that we're noticing here? I mean, I've seen it a couple.
I kind of have noticed that, like something. Are people's feathers, being? It's mostly from guys on the offensive side of the ball too. So we know defensive guys on the Vikings. They have it pretty good. Zimmer loves everyone on the defensive side of the ball, and maybe they're just tired on the Vikings side of the ball of always having a different offensive coordinator. Always being blamed for everything.
You always being the second most important unit on the team. Yeah, I mean that's a fair. Yeah, man, it'd be great to get some offensive line help.
And then some people
Here's Josh Klein. I mean,
some people like to blame everything, everyone leaving on Kirk Cousins, which seems to be the easy thing to do because it's his fault. No one wants to play with him because he only throws for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. So,
do you real quick, little bit of a side tangent here? Is the salary cap a myth?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't know. I don't understand how it works anymore. And the money, it's all a question mark in my head.
I'm at the point now where I'm just listing guys the Vikings should sign, and I don't even take the salary cap in mind.
No, it just doesn't even matter anymore. I don't care. I'm starting to believe. I used to laugh when people were like, #cap is a myth. And now I'm like, that's not really funny anymore to me. That's kind of becoming a serious conspiracy theory that I'm starting to believe.
They can always do things like take bonuses and stuff, or take the salary and turn that into a bonus for players, and so there's ways to make cap
backload stuff, and man, it's all very strange. Dan Bailey's back with the Vikings. How do you feel about it? I think you know how I feel about it.
It's not Sebastian Janikowski.
No, not Janikowski, and not the other
not Robbie Gould, not Gostkowski, not the Polish guys. I think it's fine. It's looking at what their options were, people would have freaked out if they drafted. Well, draft didn't even happen yet, so they could still draft somebody. Yeah. Because I think Bailey has $500,000 guaranteed on his contract, so it's not a whole lot to part ways with. So they could draft somebody. Hopefully not. But I think it's fine. I think Bailey might have. He came in mid-season, not really mid-season, but after the regular season started. Yeah. Didn't really get a whole lot of time to work with Matt Weil, who's back this year, and the long snapper, who's back this year. So hopefully a full off season with those guys, working together. New special teams coach, pray for not maybe, being there might help.
It'll be really interesting to see this season.
He's a good kicker.
He is. I don't hate the signing. There are guys that I would be much more opposed to than Dan Bailey. I think he did okay. I think he'll do better.
Some people want Mike Nugent, and I'm just like, he's an 80% career kicker. I don't want that.
Yeah, man. I just at this point, it's just quit. Dan Bailey didn't do enough to not come back, so let him come back and do his thing.
And they got him for cheap.
Yes, and it'll be interesting to see if the special teams cost the Vikings a game this season, because without Prefer, he's been there for a long time. Oh, I mean, you have to assume that that they're going to lose a game to it. I mean, Cordero Patterson against Chicago, like guaranteed. That's one that they'll lose because of special teams.
Oh, because they'll run them back.
Oh, of course, or something crazy will happen, or just whatever. Yeah. That's going to happen. It's in Chicago. It'll happen.
Bad things always happen to the Vikings in Chicago. So.
But it's been a really long time for this team since the special teams have been like an actual consistent issue where you're concerned, like worried. I mean, we're always afraid that they're going to miss the field goal, but we're not always afraid that they're going to fumble a punt or that they're going to, et cetera, et cetera.
No, you got to worry about.
But now we are more concerned. Percentage chance you think the special teams torpedoes this season?
I don't, because the guy they got, I don't know. I wouldn't say there's no way. This is the Vikings we're talking about, so anything is possible.
Fair point.
The guy they got, he has a good track record. He came from the Dolphins, and they've had some pretty good special teams over the years. And I think he was with the Ravens too. And John Harbaugh he was a special teams coach before he became the head coach of the Ravens. So I have confidence in the new guy. I think it's just good to get somebody else in there. I don't know how much a coach has an impact on special teams, just because there's so much going on and so many people to account for, that sometimes it's just you got to have the right guys in there to know what they're doing. And I think they have some veteran guys like Kentrell Brothers and Jaron Kearse, who are usually on special teams and can keep that unit performing well. So I'm not too worried about it. Always going to be worried about the Vikings kicker.
Always unavoidable.
But
I completely agree with that.
They have other things to worry more about.
For sure. That was what I was going to say. Was I'd give it maybe a 5% chance of torpedoing, because I can just open my eyes for a second and see 6 other reasons that the season will go to hell before the special teams.
Like Zimmer's ear's going to get cut off or something.
Involved for real. His eye will fall out. I mean, we don't know at this point. We don't know. We've seen a lot. At one point, a roof caved in. There are a lot of things.
All right. As Vikings fans, we know life can be stressful at times, probably more often than not. But getting life insurance should not be one of those stressful experiences, and that's why there's Ethos. Ethos is a modern kind of life insurance that's super fast, incredibly affordable, and very uncomplicated. At getethos.com, there are no medical exams for policies covering under $1 million. No hours of paperwork or meetings with pushy representatives. It only takes 10 minutes to apply, and you can be rest assured knowing you've taken the steps to protect your family, and in most cases with Ethos, you can have that peace of mind for less than a cup of coffee a day with no hidden fees. Having life insurance can free you from stress. Getting life insurance shouldn't cause it. So discover how uncomplicated life insurance can be with Ethos. Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to getethos.com. That's ETHOS. Getethos.com. Getethos.com.
Who else? Okay, Trevor Siemian signs with the Jets. Also, another trend, Jets. It's either New Orleans or New York. It's weird to me.
Well, New Jersey, but yeah.
Yeah, it's New Jersey.
Let's not pretend like it's New York.
Where are you at with the backup quarterback thing? I mean, you have to care because your backup is probably going to play it at some point. Hopefully not, but we'll probably have to come in at some point.
Cousins is pretty durable. I don't think he hasn't missed a game in 4 years. So
that's great news, because I'm concerned if Slaughter is the backup.
I'm not too concerned.
I'm concerned
because I don't think there are many options out there right now that are better than Slaughter, like veteran wise. I think Blaine Gabbert's out there and
Johnny Football, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, they could draft somebody.
But see, that's where I'm at. Is I think every year take a lottery ticket.
Oh, I always think that.
You got to do that. I think that to me that's the move.
Rounds.
Yeah, to me that's the move this year. Is that's your backup as a rookie who you can try and groom for after Kirk Cousins is gone.
Well, yeah, and it's Slaughter's I think it's his last season of his contract. So you're gonna need a backup next year anyways. But maybe Slaughter. I think he deserves a chance. But I know the Vikings want to get another veteran back there who knows what he's doing. So they'll get somebody boring who, I've heard Sean Mannion thrown out there who's
thrilling
never thrown a touchdown pass in his career. He has the same touchdown passes as me and you.
Brutal.
So
that's too bad. Why do you got to say it like that?
So yeah, I don't know.
How many games do you think? Let me rephrase that. Kirk Cousins goes down, Teddy style.
Yeah.
How many games?
What?
How many games? How many games does Slaughter win if he's the starter for the entire season? I'm knocking on wood, so we don't even have to worry about that being a thing. Everything around me is wood right now, so we're totally not unlucky here. We're fine.
I think they can win 7 just because of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
7 with Slaughter. I'm gonna write it down. That's a T-shirt idea, Adam. 7 with. Slaughter.
Don't give Don from Ohio any ideas.
I know where he stands.
Yeah.
I would be concerned. 7 feels like a lot, but I think you're right. I think the defense is good enough where that's probably a pretty practical number. I bet the over-under on that would be like 6.5, 7. Mm-hmm. So, I am with you. Does it scare you that Kirk Cousins is only like a game or two better than that? Most likely.
I don't know if he is. I think he's more of a 10-game kind of guy, at least. But he's just been given bad circumstances, pretty much. People might say I'm making excuses for him, but he's had bad circumstances pretty much his entire career. Mm-hmm. I think he had like a different offensive coordinator every year when he was in Washington. He had John DeFilippo this year or last season or whatever. He's got a different offensive coordinator coming up this year. So,
Yeah, he hasn't been dealt the best hand.
You look at guys like Drew Brees, who's had Sean Payton for 10 years. Even Aaron Rodgers had Mike McCarthy for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. All these guys that are,
successful, have consistency.
Brady's had McDaniels for a while. Mm-hmm. All these guys have had consistent, offensive play callers for them.
Yes, and flip side of that, great example, Alex Smith. For years in San Francisco, could not get any consistency. It's different offensive coordinator every year, different head coach every other year. He's garbage for all those years. He finally gets out, gets a little bit of consistency in a couple of stops, and he looks way better than he's ever looked before. Ta-da, shocking. This always comes back to it, Adam, coaching. Why would you put a guy in a position that he's not comfortable in? Why would you not cater what you're doing to the players that you have playing those positions? It drives me crazy, and it affects careers, especially for guys like Alex Smith. It drives me bonkers. So, yeah, backup quarterback. I'm with you. I feel like they should draft somebody. I hope it's before the 5th, just so there's a chance he's
4th.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Just so there's a chance that he could be a guy that I could believe in. Because if you get a 6th rounder and undrafted, I don't know who it is. He's not going to make any difference. I guess I shouldn't say that because there have been a lot of undrafted free agent quarterbacks.
Slaughter was
that have
undrafted.
done well, but exactly my point.
Yep.
I'm not interested in Slaughter. I'm not a fan. I don't dislike him, but if he is going to get any serious playing time, I'm just there has to be a better option than that. That's an immediate upgrade. I would take Gabbert over him, I think. That's a hot take. That's a piping hot take for the Blue Wire Pods first.
Oh wow.
Episode.
Careful out there.
Gotta be. Singe you. What else do we got? Gronk, I guess. Gronk retires.
Yeah.
Do you think
9 years? Only 9 years.
I know. Doesn't it feel like so much longer than that? But it was only 9 years. I guess the first question we have to ask, which is kind of like the popular talker right now, is he the best tight end that's ever been a tight end in the history of tight ends?
I think so. Tony Gonzalez, maybe. Shannon Sharp.
Mm-hmm. That to me, that's the argument. Do you go longevity or productivity? Because I think you can't argue with productivity with.
He also had Tom Brady.
He did.
Quarterback.
Yes.
Every year. So can't say that about the other guys.
It's true. How long did Tony Gonzalez did it forever? He was in the league for so
many quarterbacks.
Long. Yes. It's so many
The
bad
Chiefs,
quarterbacks.
Falcons.
Yeah, that poor guy. I guess he's the best. I don't know. He's a tight end, so like, I'm sure there are guys like I keep hearing
recency bias.
Yeah, Kellen Winslow keeps being brought up, and I'm like, well, I bet he was great. His son's a piece of garbage. Like, what an awful human.
Yeah. From San Diego, so that's good.
Not doing great. Awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, because Kellen Winslow Sr. was a Chargers guy, was he not? Yeah. So I guess Gronk is the best. Did he benefit from playing with one of the best quarterbacks and coaches of all time? Sure, but he also was like one of the best blocking tight ends and one of the like best pass catching tight ends in the NFL for 9 years, pretty much. He
was good. He was
important.
double and triple covered every time, so it's not like he was wide open every time.
And then on top of that, they started like taking away the like headshots, and that poor dude, like, he's not gonna be able to walk when he gets older, because that was the only way to bring him down, was to like
legs and his back.
Ugh, poor dude. And he like has a robot arm that he like plays with, so like, I don't know. Good on you. Have you seen the odds on him showing up on Monday Night Raw tonight, though?
It's in Boston, isn't it?
I think, yeah. So, like, he's probably gonna be.
I mean, why not?
Raw tonight. Why wouldn't you?
Throw him in at WrestleMania. Who cares?
Very good buddies with Mojo Rawley. So I mean, there's a tag team opportunity there. I'm watching. I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching if he's on. Specific to the Vikings with the Gronk connection, do you think there's any chance that Kyle Rudolph might be on his way to the Boston area? That was a terrible Boston accent. I'm so sorry. That was awful. But do you think Kyle Rudolph is going to go to New England?
Stick to your Minnesota accent.
Dude, that was so bad.
I might have already written about this today. So.
Oh, did you?
That might have been why I suggested it.
Mm.
I think it's a possibility. Do I think it's a strong possibility? No. Because I look at Kyle Rudolph and I see him as someone who's probably going to be with the Vikings for his entire career. That's just the kind of player he is, involved in the community and all that stuff. And his agent has already said the Vikings are, said he's going to be on the team next year. So take that for what you will. But at the same time, if the Patriots give the Vikings an offer that they can't refuse, it's going to be hard to say no and not have an extra $8 million to spend.
The cap space is what's going to do it for sure, because you need that money so bad. But if Bill Belichick calls you and says, we're interested in Kyle Rudolph, you hang up and you go sign Kyle Rudolph to another contract, because they're not going to do this to us again, Adam. They're not going to do it again.
They have 12 draft picks, 2 in the second round, 3 in the third round. So you're probably not going to get a second-round pick for Kyle Rudolph.
Nah, that'd be
maybe one of their back of the third-round picks. They might be willing to give one of those up. They have a fourth rounder too. If it's anything below that,
that's the other thing about the Patriots is you have to remember they're picking the last pick in the round every time.
Yeah, but we know Rick Spielman likes to have lots of draft picks no matter where they are.
He does.
But yeah, if they offer the Vikings anything lower than a fourth rounder, then I wouldn't take that deal if I was the Vikings.
Fourth rounder is your line for him.
Yeah, I mean, some people might think that's too much to ask, but I don't think it is, because like you said, the Patriots they always pick like bottom of each round. So it's essentially, if you're getting a fourth rounder for them, you're basically getting a fifth rounder from them. If you're getting a third rounder for them, you're getting a fourth rounder. So,
and not that Kyle Rudolph would be replacing Gronk with any real, those are big shoes to fill. But if you're New England and you can get a guy like that who can catch the ball like that, that is maybe a better option than you will find in the draft or on free agency or et cetera, et cetera. So that actually might make sense for them.
And there's some good, the tight end class in this draft class is pretty good. There's some guys that the Vikings could take, in the first round or the second round, and get some pretty good production, maybe even the same amount that Kyle Rudolph gave the Vikings, because he catch touchdowns in the red zone, but he wasn't like a game breaker. He wasn't. I don't think he ever had over 1,000. He's never had over 1,000 yards in his career in a season.
I can't remember where I was reading it, but they were describing Kyle Rudolph in the red zone where it's like he doesn't ever look like he's open. You have to kind of throw him open, and Kirk Cousins is not going to do that. Yeah. He's just not going to be able to do it. He's never done it his whole career, and we're expecting him to do that and like make Kyle Rudolph a better player because of it. And I just don't. I don't know. I'm not that I want Kyle Rudolph to leave, but it might be better for all parties if he goes someplace else and we get.
No, it's something to talk about. They got to think about it soon. He's pushing 30, so it's not going to be around that much longer, I don't think.
Yeah, and especially as a tight end. Who they don't
and
last.
Definitely not at the amount of money he's making now.
God no. Too much money. That's all there is to it. Onside kicks. How do you feel about onside kicks, Adam?
Now, how they are now? I mean, there's no point.
Right this second. There's no point because of the percentage after the new rule change is what you mean?
Because you can't get a running, like, you can't get a head start anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to wait. Yeah, you can't get a head start. So,
and you have to, and you can't overload the one side. You have to have equal on each side. Because that to me was like that made it so hard, and then they did the other rule too, and now it's like nearly impossible. So of course we are talking about 4th and 15, the like alliance version of the what do they call it? The onside conversion, where it's like 4th and 15 or 4th and 12 or something, and then you convert it.
For them, I think it's like 4th and 15 or 17 from like the 30, and the Broncos submitted a proposal for the rules committee or whatever to look over for 4th and 15 instead of an onside kick from your own 35. I think you have to be trailing, meet a bunch of different circumstances. You can only do it once a game, and even if like you get a holding penalty, you can't change your mind and punt. You still have to go for it. So if like you get a holding penalty, it's 4th and 25 now. You still have to go for it.
Oh, really? I kind of like that.
Yeah. So, they, gave it to the competition committee. It was voted on like 7-1 in favor of it. But now it has to go to the owners, and it needs like 24 or 26 votes to pass.
Okay.
And I don't think it's going to pass.
You don't think so?
No, because a lot of owners, they're older, and they look at it like, oh, this is like a gimmick, like the Alliance did it because it's a gimmick and they need more fans to watch, and the NFL's like, we don't need that stuff,
Yeah.
So, but I like it. I think it's a good idea.
I like it too. And from the NFL's perspective, if your goal is to like have player safety, you gotta like taking it away just makes things safer, I guess, if that's the goal.
For onside kicks, I don't know, because I see that and I hear that and I'm like, it's still a football play. It's still going to be dangerous, no matter what.
That's true. But do you think it's less dangerous than an onside kick? I guess I don't know. You could probably make a case that it isn't much safer to do one or the other from the new rules.
There aren't a whole lot of plays in football that I view less dangerous or more dangerous than the other, because I just look at them as all dangerous. Mm-hmm. When guys are running at each other at 100 miles an hour and they're these huge dudes, it's going to be dangerous.
There's danger involved. That's part of the deal. So if it was up to you, would you change it?
Oh yeah. At least give it like a year.
Yeah,
like a shot or whatever, or try it in the preseason. See if that works.
I like this. My biggest thing though is like for me, the overtime rules is what you got to change that. It has to be the college thing. Just do the college thing. It's better that way.
Oh, they'll make it somehow so it's pro specific or whatever. But but each team should get a chance
to touch the ball.
Yes. Because people are like, oh, well, your defense, they should make a stop, and it's like, yeah, but what if your defense sucks? But and your offense is the only reason why you're in the game.
Exactly.
And so you're gonna be like, oh, your defense should stop the opposing offense that they haven't been doing all game. Yeah, that makes tons of sense.
It bothers me that you can play that much football and be that even, and then it's decided by a coin flip at the end. Like it's just that's such a backwards way to do it. To me, it just drives me nuts. And then it's so obvious that the best option right there in college, they perfected it. It's right there. Let everybody touch the ball, go for two after a little bit, make it work. Like it's fine. That's.
I don't think it hurts anybody. Does it hurt anybody?
Like
what's preventing people from doing it? Like,
From changing the overtime rules?
Yeah, I don't see what's the benefit to not.
Stubborn old men being like, that's not how we do it.
I really do wonder if it has something to do with, TV contracts. Because, you get overtime games, and they keep going longer and longer. Eats in, 60 minutes, new episode coming up on CBS.
Can't have that. 60 minutes pays.
Gonna be late.
They get ad money. They can't have the ads not running. Okay.
Somebody's schedule's thrown off. Janine from Ohio can't sit down and watch her 60 minutes at 7 o'clock because Chiefs and Patriots are in the 6th overtime.
We can't have that, Adam. It's very important that Janine gets her show. Was it Janine? I can't even.
Yeah.
That was really good. I like that a lot. No, I'm totally with you. Yeah, no, you're probably right, honestly, because at the end of the day, that usually is the reasoning behind a lot of these moves. Money, because there are literally billions of dollars to be made off of this kind of thing. Yeah. So you probably are onto something, good sir.
No, it's not about the money for, though.
Who's that?
Anthony Barr.
Anthony Barr. It's not.
He was like, New York Jets, you got all this money. Sorry.
Not interested.
Thanks.
No thanks on your money. Did you see the shot that was fired by the...
It wasn't a shot.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Were you also looking for the shot after you read it? Because I read the whole thing. I was like, hey,
Minnesota media is trying to be edgy and be like, it's a shot. It's like, no, it's not. He said he was disappointed that he didn't sign with him. That's it.
Some people aren't New York guys. That's a fair statement. The guy almost threw up when he signed with New York. I think that's a fair assessment of this.
He said he wanted guys that want to be in New York. Oh, big deal. Like, that's what every coach says.
Shots fired. I think you're just trying to downplay.
Mike Tomlin said that today about the Steelers. He's like, we want people that want to be here. Hot take.
I don't know how you could argue with that. I don't know how you could argue with that.
I want
logic.
guys that don't want to be here. I want guys that are trying to get out of here as soon as they can.
I want malcontents everywhere in this locker room.
That's how they play the best.
That's because you got to have the fire in your belly.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah, me neither. Is there anything else you would like to discuss, Adam? Otherwise, we're basically on to our closing remarks. We haven't been going too terribly long here, but
it's off season.
It is the off season. That's what I was going to say. I don't think there's much else to discuss, really.
The owner meeting's going on now. I mean, Mike Zimmer will probably say one interesting thing. We know Rick Spielman's not going to say anything interesting,
but he'll talk forever.
Say absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Guy's incredible.
Draft's coming up end of April, so there's a while. Maybe the Vikings will make a move before then. Probably not.
Wouldn't surprise me, though, because they do, if the cap is real, they have to do something.
Yeah, I don't.
I guess.
We've talked about this offseason being pretty boring for them, and it's been that. So, I'm not surprised. But no, I'll just... go with my closing remark, which we kind of already talked about. It seems to happen. Just like, it's okay to not be happy about a Viking signing. Like, we don't have to get on board and try and find the smallest, positive element about someone's game. And I'm speaking about Josh Klein. If,
Thanks for
they haven't exhibited, their whole career to be, that great. Like, look at Case Keenum and everyone... It's like, oh, he's so good, and we should bring him back. And everyone else, who actually watches football all the time, looks at, his track record and sees, oh, he hasn't really been that good. And what do you know? He wasn't that good last year. Mm-hmm. So, just it's okay to not be happy about a signing. We don't have to be all like, give him a chance. And no, I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to give him a chance. No, I think you're right though. There's a blind.
I know it's Minnesota nice.
Yes. But there is a blind optimism to it that bothers me, because I'm fine if you are super optimistic and really hopeful that Klein is the answer and this is the best signing and give him a chance guy. I'm happy that you feel that way. But it's okay for me to look at that same signing and be like, I don't think they did this.
If they signed him for
are supposed to
$2 million, like a $6 million contract, I wouldn't care.
No, but he's signed for starter money right
now.
For
$15 million, he's not going to get that. It's essentially a 1-year contract still. I think his cap it's $3 million next year.
Yeah,
but still, you throw that money out there for a guy who gave up 38 pressures last year, and we're going to be like, I think I can't even remember right now what the exact word the Vikings website used to describe him. There's like, he's the final piece of like their offensive line or something. I'm just like, no,
he's not. He's not that. And it's okay that he's not that. And I get from the Vikings' perspective that you have to promote it like that. But give him a chance, guy. Yeah, give him a chance, guy. It's totally okay for me to not give him a chance because I don't think he's going to be good. And let's
not act like he's Roger Saffold.
Yeah.
Okay?
Who?
It's not.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
the guy that everyone wanted the Vikings to sign, even though he's never made a Pro Bowl either.
No, and that's what I was going to say was if you look at this whole squad, we talked about this before free agency started, you're going to overpay in the top group, and it's going to be way too much money. And now we're finding out that even in the second group, you can outrageously overpay. And the Vikings, I'm sure we'll find out later, did. But this was the safest bet that they could make. Forgive me if I don't think that this is going to cure the offensive line of their woes. You know,
but I do see stuff where people are like, oh, now they don't have to worry about like drafting offensive line in the first round. I'm like, yes, they do.
They totally do.
Like that's still a big consideration. Do they have to? No, because you don't want them to reach either. But that's not like
no.
Klein solves all their problems.
To me, if you are adding up this entire offseason and getting the draft, this has to be the plan, is to build the offensive line through the draft. I'm not saying
they don't really
have draft
they don't really have a choice.
5 of them, but yeah, they don't have a choice. They have to do it like this now.
Yeah.
So I will give Vikings fans, if they don't draft enough offensive linemen, which is like 3.
6.
Yeah, it can't be 6. But if they only take 2 offensive linemen, then we'll spend an episode discussing how stupid.
They're gonna get undrafted guys too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's so many moves left to be made. Oh, this dog is driving me crazy. All right,
He's pissed off about the offensive line.
We're all frustrated about the offensive line, But just let me have my opinion on Klein. It's okay that I'm not psyched that he is, here. I'm sure he's a great guy, but quit telling me how to feel.
I think he likes hockey, so that sounds good.
Yeah, and he's a walleye fisher. People are gonna love him. Like,
boy,
yeah, he's
got a beard. He's good.
Totally, beard, wore a flannel while he signed his contract. Was very impressed with how the Twin Cities Orthopedic Center facility was very complimentary the whole time. Yeah, right. That's a great place to end it. Well, Skull Vikes, and see you next week.
Yeah, check us out on the Blue Wire Podcast Network. You can search Blue Wire on iTunes and wherever podcasts are. You can find us Bleeding Purple. Subscribe, download, do all that fun stuff. And talk to you next week.
Skull Vikes.
Go.
See ya.